Today I'm canning grape jelly. I'm using Concord grapes, which are the most often used grapes for jelly, and I'm going to show you two different ways to extract the juice. The first way is the old-fashioned way. To demonstrate this, I'm using 2 pounds of grapes. The first thing you want to do is pick the grapes off of the stems because there can be all sorts of yucky, creepy, crawly stuff hidden in the grape clusters. Then wash the grapes and put them in the pot and crush them. Add a 1/4 cup of water for every 2 pounds of grapes and bring it to a boil. Reduce the heat and simmer for about 10 minutes. Then pour the grapes into a damp jelly bag and drain well. Don't squeeze the bag because you'll force bits of pulp into the juice. Now, I don't have a jelly bag, so I'm using a paint strainer from Home Depot. You can get 2 for $3.97, and no, it doesn't say anywhere on the bag if it's food safe. If that's a concern of yours, then absolutely buy a food grade jelly bag because your peace of mind is worth far more than the convenience or money you'd save by using a Home Depot paint strainer. They look like they're made of nylon, they are machine washable, and be sure to wash it before you use it. And if you choose the jelly bag route, good luck finding a jelly bag. Then I hang the bag from a handle on my kitchen cabinet. Okay, while that's dripping, I'll show you another way you can extract juice. Here I'm using a steam juicer. This is a 3-piece pot, and the way it works is you put water into the bottom pot, then the water boils and the steam rises through the cone in the center pot. The grapes are steamed in the top pot, then the grape juice falls through the holes in the top pot into the center pot. Then you extract the juice by squeezing the clamp on the tube on the center pot. This is what the grapes look like after the juice has been steamed out of them. Here's the juice from the 2 different methods. The old-fashioned is on the left, the steam juiced is on the right. Now the juice should be refrigerated overnight so that the next day the tartrate crystals that will form can be strained out of it. Once again, the old-fashioned is on the left, steam juiced is on the right. In the end, the one on the right ends up the most translucent, which makes a prettier jelly. The one on the left is a bit more flavorful. If you're not juicing a whole lot of grapes, I'd suggest the old-fashioned way. If you're juicing a lot of grapes, I'd recommend the steam juicer. By the way, 2 pounds of grapes yielded 2 cups of juice the old-fashioned way. I didn't measure the steam juice grapes. Okay, now that we have juice, it's time to make jelly. Put 5 cups of grape juice in a pot. Make sure that your pot is at least 3 times larger than your ingredients because when the jelly heats up, it expands drastically. Add 1 package of powdered sugar gel. If you like, you can add a 1/2 teaspoon of butter or margarine to reduce any foaming that occurs. Now, this is important. Do not add your sugar yet. Powdered pectin has to be cooked before the sugar is added, or your jelly probably won't set. Bring this mixture to a full rolling boil. That's a boil that doesn't stop when you stir it. Now add 7 cups of sugar. Return to a full rolling boil and boil for exactly 1 minute. Notice how much the jelly has expanded. Remove the heat and skim off any foam that is present. Now we're ready to can. Take a hot jar and fill it within a 1/4 inch of the top. Wipe the rim of the jar clean, add a lid and a ring, and tighten them firmly. The jelly is extremely hot, so you might need to protect your hand from the jar. Put the jar back into the water bath canner to stay warm until all of the jars are full. Lower the rack into the canner and make sure there is at least 1 inch of water covering the jars. Put the lid on the pot and bring the water to a boil. You'll know when the water is boiling when you see steam coming out from under the lid. This is where you start your processing time. Process the jars for 10 minutes. If you live at high altitudes, adjust your processing time. Here's a chart if you don't know what adjustment to make. When the time is up, turn off the heat, remove the lid, and let the canner sit for at least 5 minutes. Remove the jars and place them on a towel on the counter to cool. The next day, remove the rings, wash the jars, write grape jelly on the top and the date that you canned it. So that's how to can grape jelly. You end up with a beautiful translucent jelly with a great taste, and it sets up great. If you are using liquid pectin, the process is slightly different, so be sure to follow the directions that come with your pectin. We fought Japanese beetles hard for this jelly. I hope it helps.